Imagine you move from a place where you lived all your life. Imagine you move and you leave all your children and wife. Starting all over again, but no one you know is around. Well, they didn't have to imagine. They built it up from the ground. How does it sound? Not easy because it isn't. Could have praised them, but it didn't. But the Ray Bond, that's a winner. And they ran straight to the finish. You get to know them up close and personal. Wait, just give me a minute. Welcome to the front row. Can I get a drum roll? Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still the best of all. We are intentional.
Welcome to the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. I'm your host, Yolanda Jack, and I'm delighted that you're able to join me here today. Today, we'll be talking with Bhoomi Tripathi. She has two businesses. One is EduPower Academy, and the other is a dance academy, Ananta Dance Academy. But just before we speak with Bhoomi to see what she has to say, one, coming to Canada as an international student and then branching off and starting her own businesses, I would just like to let you know that I will be taking a break from the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. So for the next little while, you will not have any recordings. The website will still be active, but we won't be having any YouTube recordings or video recordings. So we're taking a pause on it. So just wanted you to know. All right. So just before we speak with Bhoomi, just reminding you, if you've not already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel. The podcast is available on Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Podbean. And of course, there's a YouTube channel, Intentional Immigrants, and the website is www.intentionalimmigrants.com. So this is going to be our last recording for right now until further notice. Hoping that the recordings have been beneficial to you or to someone you know, you were able to learn something or even to share information with your friends. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the persons who have been willing to be interviewed on the podcast. All right, thank you. All right, so let's hear what Bhoomi has to say to us today. Hi, Bhoomi. Welcome to the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. We're delighted that you're able to join us here today.
Yes, thank you so much for the invite, Yolanda, and it's really a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks. All right. So tell us a bit about yourself. Who are you? Where did you come from? Where are you located? Why did you come here?
Yes. So my name is Bhoomi Tripathi. Right now I am in Edmonton. Initially I immigrated to Fort Mac. That's in also Alberta. It's a little bit far north from Edmonton. And yes, I came in around 2013 and I have been here since 9 years, 9.5 year. And yes, I immigrated to Canada for education, and then I love this country so much that I decided to settle here.
Okay, cool. Oh, you came as an international student.
That's correct.
That's good. That's good. All right. And you studied, what program did you study?
I studied environmental science. So yes. So initially I was a transfer student from India. So I was transferred to do master's in Ontario, but because of some personal reasons, I was not able to continue that. So I had to take a transfer to Fort Mac. And that was one of the best decisions of my life.
Cool. I'm happy to hear.
Yes. Because I'm a person who loves a little bit of a countryside environment. Like I'm not very much into I love small towns, and and Fort Mac is a big family. Even today when I go there, I feel like everybody knows everyone. So that's the beauty of it. I love that place.
Yes, I like that too. I like the country setting. I like
Yes. And everybody is so welcoming. I'm not saying that it's not like that in Ontario. Must be. I have never lived there, so I do not know. But I feel like Fort Mac was very welcoming. Initially, I had a hard time understanding the accent because in India we were speaking English as well, but the accent is very
different.
Very different, right? And then the pronunciations were a little different. And so when people, and in Fort Mac, we have mostly Newfoundlanders, right? So they would come and they would like, they will talk too fast. I have no clue. So, and then it was so beautiful that they, I remember I used to work at Staples initially as a student, and the staff was great, people were great, and the clients who will come in, would tell them that I'm new, I do not understand what you're saying. So they will go slow. And so it was so good, so beautiful.
Oh, I'm happy you had a good experience as an international student.
Yes.
All right. So tell us, you are currently a business owner. What sort of business are you into?
So I run a dance school. That's the logo. It's called Ananta's Dance Academy. And I do another business too. It's called EduPower Academy. That's a tutoring service. So basically, I'm in the field of teaching. So it's kind of a mix of math and sciences because I'm from India. And so it comes with it, and yes, and the dance part of it. So Ananta's Dance Academy is one of the fastest growing dance school in Edmonton. It teaches the Bollywood dance of India, then the Bharatanatyam. It's also Indian classical dance form of India. Then we teach Bhangra, and so basically it's like Indian folk dances is what is taught at our dance school. Yes, and EduPower Academy takes care of the math and sciences aspect of the academics. And yes.
Okay, can I ask what motivated you to offer both of these services? Because they are so different. I mean, it's still teaching, but this area is so very different.
Yes, so true. So this all started with when I graduated from Keano College, I got I had the highest GPA in the college. So I got a the Elizabeth Queen's Award that we get, the medal. So that's what I got. And then what happened is, so I was a very good student, like I was very good in education. And then I started working for a company, which I do not want to say a name.
Sure, that's fine.
But yeah, so I started working at the company. It was initially a very good experience, but I felt like the progress was so stagnant, and I was talking to people there, and I realized that there were people who were at the same position for 10, 12 years.
Wow.
And for me, that was a very, very big demotivator. For me, it was because I feel like we should always be having a goal, and there should be something to keep you motivated. So the job there was more of like, you go at 8 o'clock in the morning, you do your work, you come home. And so it was very monotonous. There was no excitement. So I told my husband that, it doesn't feel great. I don't feel great about it. So he said, okay, you love teaching, because I used to work as a tutor at Keano College when I was studying too. Yeah, a tutor, yes.
Okay.
So I used to work there, and I love tutoring. I love it. So he's like, okay, why don't you start something part-time? So I started taking tutoring just on cash, very basic, maybe 2-3 hours a week or something. And I started getting students exponentially. Like every day I would get couple calls that, Bhoomi, can you take that? Because people loved my work. And then eventually I just quit that job, and EduPower was born. So yes,
when was
and
it born?
then EduPower was successful, and I always had passion for dance. I had I'm a trained dancer back home, and I did a lot of, like 14 years I gave to dance of my life. So my husband is like, oh, why don't you start something on the side? And yeah, so that side became main business.
So the dance is the main business.
Yes.
And
yes,
EduPower is now the part-time business.
Yes, the EduPower is a part-time business, and I also teach courses for Kiana College right now.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good.
Yes.
So you're a full-fledged teacher.
I'm a full-fledged teacher, and I love that. The beauty about Canada, I would say, is it's a land of opportunities. If you can do your work properly, if you are very honest about your work, if you have ethics, and if you believe in progressing, there are opportunities. If you're lazy and you just be like, I don't want to do anything, I just want a paycheck, then it works that way. And it's everywhere, I think. Yes.
Yeah, it's everywhere like that. Okay, that's good to hear. When was EduPower born?
Who? EduPower?
Power, yeah.
EduPower was born in 2015.
2015. Okay.
Yes.
And when was the dance school?
Dance school was born in 2018.
2018. Okay. All right.
Yes. So it took me 3 years to realize that I love dance.
That's good to hear.
Because when I was doing EduPower, at the same time I was teaching mathematics at Kiana College. Yes, so it was going side by side, and then yes, I started the dance school, and the dance school itself was a very it was main of a startup that I wanted to do for passion. So on 15th June 2019, I started taking enrollments for my dance school. There were three kids who enrolled for that day. By December, we had 80 students registered, and right now we have over 220 students at our dance school.
Wow, that is growth.
I know. It grew like that. And as I said before too, it takes a lot of hard work, and there is a philosophy behind the dance school that I'll share shortly. It takes a lot of hard work, but again, as I said, it all depends on your ethics and how hard you want to work, how smart you want to work.
Yes, that's good. So is it a dance school that's mainly for kids? And if so, what's the age range for the clients? I think.
So the clients,
what do you call them? Are they clients or are they students?
You can call whatever student. My students will love to hear. Even if they get a little bit of publicity, they will love it. They will like, you were mentioned. So yes, anybody who's above 4 is welcome at our dance school.
Above 4? Is there
above 4 age? Yes. 4 years of age. Yes.
So beginning at 4. What about 20 or 25?
Everybody. So we have the youngest student I have right now is a 4-year-old, and the oldest student that I have is 64-year-old.
64. Okay, cool.
So we go from 4 to 64.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So everybody's welcome, and that's what ADA. That's what our school is called, ADA. ADA in Hindi, it translates to kind of a style or some kind of a swag, you can call it, and it is Ananta's Dance Academy. So I will refer to it as ADA. So at ADA, our philosophy is very clear. Everybody is welcome, regardless of your age, regardless of your where are you from, or which country you belong. No question asked. Everybody is equally welcome. No judgments.
Okay, cool. Yes. So people join for exercise. Do you find that people join for exercise as well?
Yes. So we have different wings, you can call it. So we have intensive performing wing. Then we have just kind of learning dance wing. Then we also have a workout class. but everybody, the base of everything is dance. So even if we have a workout class, it's more of a dance workout.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yes.
I'm interested. All right.
Yes, you're more than welcome to come.
How did the pandemic, how did COVID-19 and all that it brought with it, how did that affect you and your business model?
Yes, it did. And dance online is good, but it doesn't work as well as in person. Because Ada is for us, it's more of like our philosophy is engagement. The kids learn a lot while having a lot of fun. That's what our ideology is. And what happens in online classes, that interaction is missing, right? So we did kind of got through it, but it did not, we did lose a lot of client base that time, and we did have a little bit of a hardship. As an individual, I did not suffer a lot because I had two places to work, right? I had EduPower as well as Ada, and I was also taking courses for the college. So that's why as an individual, I did not suffer, but the business, yes, it did suffer a lot.
Okay. So EduPower was doing better than...
Because EduPower, I had a kind of a vision that with time, everything is going to go online. So EduPower, even though it started 2015, I did take in-person classes initially, but I felt like online is something, a way to go, and kids should be adapting to it. So what I did is I used a lot of online resources in order to make the class extremely engaging. So we used animation to teach kids. We did online laboratories, etc., etc. So EduPower, even though it was early in time, it was online from before. So when COVID hit, the clientele base was already there.
Oh, cool.
In fact, it got a raise because we were online, we were all set, we were all ready to go. Even though, so it actually worked out. COVID was a favor for
you, yeah.
It worked out very favorably. Yes. So EduPower had a growth, Ananta had a downfall, so it all balanced out.
Luckily, you had two businesses going at the same time.
Yeah, and I believe in that. I believe like you should always have a diversified economy, because if one crashes, the other would help you.
Something else to, something else to lean on. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All right. Tell me one experience that blew you away in terms of the impact of your service that you offer.
So Ada itself was born on a very emotional story. So when I was growing up, I had a passion for dance, and I started my dance journey when I was just 3.5 years old. My mom actually made me start it, right? So that time, my mom and dad, we came from a very lower middle class family, and my mom used to take a bike because we couldn't afford a ride, a car or a vehicle. So my mom used to take a bike, and we used to put us to different places, and my dad would maybe cut his cost, would not buy a pair of clothes or anything in order to support my dance classes. So because I used to learn hip hop, I used to learn Bharatanatyam, I used to learn Kuchipudi, I used to learn folk dances, and everything had a fee attached,
of
right?
Course.
So lots of stage performances, this, that. And my brother was also learning piano and all those. So our extracurriculars plus our curricular, it was costing them fortune, right? So they had to cut a lot of their cost. So the Ada was born on the idea that it should be affordable to every parent. If you're, as I said, everybody is welcome, and that's the definition of it. So Ada was born that the quality is like the high standard. but at the same time, the affordability is such that even if you're living, like if you are a very low income family, you can still afford the price. So you do not have to cut like the way my parents had to cut their, they would not buy clothes and etc. etc. So that was the whole idea behind Ada. So that was my personal experience. Even right now, some of my parents tell me, like my clients tell me, that Bhoomi, you should be charging for this. Why you're not charging for this? Why you're not charging for it? I was like, no. The motto of this school is, regardless which family background you come in, you are welcome. Even if you're rich, we don't want extra money from you. It's fine. You're rich, you can keep it with yourself. So, that's the concept. So that my experience as a child is what has shaped the school, and that ethic, that ethics that it should be for everybody is what is
all inclusive.
The motto of the school. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good to hear. What's your personal philosophy or mantra?
My personal philosophy is education, or let it be any education, could be anything, like knowledge. Let me call it knowledge. Knowledge is something that should be accessible to everyone on this earth, and that is something I believe in. So knowledge and food. Those are the two things that I work. Even right now, I'm in connection with lots of NGOs back home. Also, I used to do it. Is just the food, because hunger has no religion, and education or knowledge should be reached to every single person if they desire. That's all I can.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Can you share a book or two that you would recommend our viewers to read?
Yes. So for the book reading, I would suggest you to read. Let me see if I have it here. I can show you the cover if we can find it. I personally love this book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Hit Refresh by Satya Nadella.
Okay.
Yes. So it's a beautiful book. It's all about anytime you have a trouble, you hit refresh. So I would tell every viewer, and I'm making an assumption here that your viewers would be the ones who have already immigrated or the ones who are looking into immigration.
That's correct.
So if you have a plan in your life, and if you have a goal in your life, it is not always that it works out. I changed so many fields and still I'm successful right now. So I started with biochemistry. I hold master's in biochemistry. Then I turned to environmental science. I did some work there. Then I switched to academics. I was successful there, but then I switched to dance school. They are not connected to anything. Like they're not literally connected. Okay, but it still works. And it's okay to change until you find a solution, a place where you want to work. But at the same time, you have to keep your eyes open. You have to think, just work on your passion and money would follow. Don't work for money. That's what I would say. And anytime you feel like you're stuck,
it's refresh. Okay.
It's okay to be stuck because that's how you learn, right? So if you're planning to immigrate, it's to Canada, it's a wonderful place to be part of. Beautiful culture, there is a lot of diversity here. We all coexist, we all cohabit in this country, and it works well, and it's a very beautiful place. All you have to be, you should be thinking about is once you get here, always look for resources. There are a lot of resources available for you to develop. And yeah, and there's one more book that I personally, it's a kind of a spiritual book, but it's autobiography of a yogi. That is also one of my favorite reads. I thought about reading that book when I came to know that Bill Gates read it. And I'm like, what is so fascinating about that Bill Gates read it? But yeah, those are the two books I would suggest.
Those are the two books. All right, thank you.
No problem.
The listeners make contact with you.
So if you have any questions, I would love to answer it. You can either text me on 780-504-9922. I would suggest you not to call a text, because if I have a text, I will definitely answer it as I receive it. Or you can email it to me at info@anantadanceac.ca. So, and I would definitely get back to you. I might be a couple days here and there, but I will get back to you.
Okay. Bhoomi, thank you so very much for joining me here today and for sharing with my viewers. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. And I really hope it would help you at some part of your journey. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Bhoomi.
Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Intentional Immigrants podcast and channel. Thank you to the following persons who made today's episode possible. Bhoomi Tripathi of EduPower Academy and Ananta Dance Academy. Xavier Anderson for providing music. As always, I am your host, Yolanda Jack, reminding you, he who watches the wind will not sow. He who watches the clouds will not reap. Ecclesiastes 11 and verse 4. You were born for greatness. Step out into your greatness so that mankind can benefit from you being here. So long, until next time.
Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still the best of all. We are intentional.